Hey guys, it's Eric. Today we're going to take a look at my Eufy Solo camera. This is the E20 1080p model, and we're going to compare it to my old one. This is the Eufy Cam 2, which is also the 1080p model. And we're going to just quickly look at the differences and see which one is right for you. Now, basically, both cameras do the exact same thing, and you're going to get the same features in the app no matter which camera you're going to pick. So I'm not going to focus on that. Today we're going to focus on the physical aspects and some other things that will decide which one might be better. Now, physically, you can see the new Eufy SoloCam is a little bit smaller, but it's about the same width and everything. It's not as long as the Eufy Cam 2. Now, when it comes to weight, the Eufy Cam 2 is a little bit heavier. And then on the back, you can see the old Eufy Cam 2 had the magnetic base that you can magnetically attach this to anything. Both these still do have the quarter 20 threads, so you can screw these into the mount and mount them properly. Now, when it comes to the charging port, the Eufy Cam 2 just has a micro USB plug right there, a little tiny plug. You can close it, it will seal it from the weather, where the Eufy Cam Solo has a flap. This will access the micro USB plug. Now, when it comes to connection, the Solo, the brand new Solo, is 100% Wi-Fi. It's going to connect to your local Wi-Fi, where the old Eufy Cam 2 has a home base, and it's going to be connecting to the home base where the memory is going to be stored. I do believe it uses their own kind of proprietary Wi-Fi for its connection. I'm not quite sure how the connection is between the camera and the home base. It is quite stable. I've never had issues with it. Now, also, when you get the home base, you're going to be able to use the Eufy Cam 2 with HomeKit, where when you're not using a home base and you have the solo camera, this will not work with HomeKit. Another advantage of having the home base is that the memory card is going to be stored here in the home base. So if something happens and a burglar comes and breaks into your house, and as they're walking out, they see the camera on the outside of the house and they take their camera with them, that footage will still be stored here on the home base. Where if you had the solo camera and you had a break-in or something happens and they steal this camera, the memory, the clips will be stored on the camera itself. Now, of course, both of these are great. There's no monthly fees. You're going to be getting clip recordings of any time that there's motion happening, and those are going to be recorded either to the home base if you have the Eufy Cam 2, or directly on the Solo if you have the Solo camera. From my understanding, both the home base and the Solo camera has about 8 gigs of memory, which will be enough for most people to store their clip recordings for about a month or so. But really comes down to how much action and movement you have, how often these cameras pick up recordings. It's going to fill up that memory card a lot faster, and once it gets full, it's going to start rewriting itself. Now, when it comes to battery life, the Eufy Cam 2, they say you get 365 days of battery life. Unfortunately, that is not true. You might get a couple months, maybe 5 or 6 months if you have it on its lowest settings. So I do highly recommend a solar panel for both these cameras, where the Eufy Solo has a battery life, they say, about 120 days, which that is also not true. You're going to probably get about less than a month with this, depending on what settings. So definitely, I highly recommend that you do pick up a solo panel like the Eufy Solo panel I have here, and connect this, and make sure you set this up right. Make sure it's facing the sun for most of the day, and you'll be able to use both these cameras pretty much without charging up indefinitely. Also, with the Eufy brand Solo panel, you're going to get all the correct connection accessories that you'll need for each camera. Where the Solo camera is pretty simple. You do have a little gasket that comes with it that you'll want to plug in there, and then you take your micro USB plug from the Solo panel. You can see it's a little bit longer than most, and that gets plugged right in just like that, and it has a nice seal, and you don't have to worry about water intrusion. Where on the Eufy Cam 2, there's a couple more accessories that you'll need. You need this little gasket that goes on to the micro USB plug, and then you have this cover. So what you want to do is open the back of the micro USB port. Go ahead and plug it in just like that. And now you have this cover that will help with some water intrusion and keep dust out. And then you have your screw right here. And now you still have a mounting screw right there on the back. So you can see the differences between the EufyCam 2 and the brand new Eufy SoloCam. They're pretty much the exact same type of camera. You're going to get the same results, but depending on what you're looking for, if you want to store the footage off the camera, you have to go with the EufyCam 2, and if you don't mind storing it on the camera itself, you can go with the Eufy Solo E20. Hope you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you hit that helpful button, and I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.